Chapter 16. Caden. This was a different day, and a new day for me and Gray. Nothing could spoil how I felt walking into coffee, tea, and thee. Not even the clouds threatening and the rain overhead could wash away the bliss and happiness I felt at this moment. I knew that nothing could fuck up my day, because I wasn't going to let that happen. Lane greeted me. "Parker has been waiting for you at the tea counter. He doesn't look his usual haughty, joyful self." I thought Lane was a little jealous of Parker. Parker's husband was handsome and tall, and Parker appeared to have everything together. Parker had this air about him, and rightly so. It was hard conquering the heart of a gay man with many choices, but the hardest thing of all was getting and keeping a straight dude, and it seemed that Parker had a patent on that, because he went out of his way to tell everyone who'd listen that he had a secret. I knew he was joking, but Lane didn't. Parker demonstrated to everyone how loving and happy he and Tony were. And even more so whenever he was inside the coffee shop. Lane had complained about his demonstration of affection by kissing Tony in front of Lane. Lane must have thought that Parker was taunting him, especially during the time when he'd thought Scott was being unfaithful. I had neglected my duties and had things to do, and I didn't have time to engage Parker in endless chatter. However, Wounded Inked employees were my best customers, and Brian insisted that it was my duty as the owner to engage with the public. Therefore, on my way to my office, I had to pass near the tea section with its comfortable chairs and sofas, which at this time of day were nearly empty, and because of that, I took this opportunity to waste some time. I stopped to see Parker nursing his green tea and a piece of Augustine's cake. Sitting down near Parker, he stared at something and didn't turn to acknowledge me, until he heard my voice. "Did you want to talk to me, Parker?" Parker smiled. "Yes. I wanted to speak to you, because I thought you would understand. It's Tony. I thought since you're from Nevermore, you'd know the people here." The tone of his voice indicated that he wasn't going to ask a general question, but something personal. "I don't know everyone. The place has grown since they built the college across the way, and new people have moved here. So what about Tony?" I would be shocked at what he said next. Parker's eyes lowered with his head as he fiddled with his fingers as if he was embarrassed, and he raised his head to face me. "Tony has been seeing someone else." "Are you sure? I can't see him doing something like that. Maybe you're projecting something into your life that doesn't exist. You have children together. You were the one who said he was a great father, husband, and you had terrific sex." No one ever asked Parker about what they did in bed, and he only offered that the sex was outstanding. Maybe he talked too much. When you advertised, somebody would buy, as they said. However, I wouldn't believe that Tony was fooling around, unless I saw it. I feel something. He's tired and goes directly to bed when he gets home. We hadn't missed a night until recently, if you know what I mean. I called at Wounded Inked and they said that he'd gone home, because he told everyone that he was tired, but he never made it home until the wee hours of the morning. Lately, I'd been an investigator for Lane when he thought Scott was running around on him. I was also trying to locate a boy named Valentine, and now I had to be a therapist also. I was too fucking young for all those hats. I couldn't wear the one I wanted these days without men crying on my shoulders, and the last one I thought would be Parker. I drew in a sharp breath. "Parker, I'm sure it's nothing. Tony loves you. He must have a good reason for coming home late. Why don't you talk to him before you jump to conclusions?" I know I would. And speaking from a man who had acted like an ass when it came to Gray. It appears I'm more equipped to solve others' problems than my own, I thought. When I glanced around, wondering when I'd have time to take care of Brian's private love matter so he wouldn't leave me and my growing business, I watched Tony amble our way, and near him, a soldier who was a double amputee. He didn't wait for the man, he just headed in our direction, and from the look on his face, he was in love. If I read Tony correctly, every minute he was away from Parker was torture. Tony smiled at me, but his greatest and most endearing smile was for his partner. He reached for Parker's hand, and Parker with a surprised look stood, and Tony brought him in for a deep kiss, then turned him around. "This is my friend, baby. Justin, meet my Parker." Imagine how surprised I was to see Justin in Nevermore. "This is my love, my life, the man who saved me from myself. Parker Reeves Paisano. He's who I live for, and I can't say any more without making an ass out of myself, and looking like a lovesick fool." "Hello, Justin. I see you're not surprised that I'm a man," Parker said. I watched as a broad smile crossed Parker's lips. "Justin, meet my friend, Caden. He owns this place, and isn't it wonderful?" Justin shook my hand and glanced around. Justin's eyes almost teared. "I can see I'll be spending time here. I just enrolled in art classes, and Tony will be my mentor. He said that he could use me part-time at Wounded Inked." "It's great meeting you, Justin, and I'll look forward to you coming in for coffee or tea." I wanted to leave, but I had to see this through. The look of relief on Parker's face when he discovered that Tony wasn't fucking around on him after all made this time I took for a friend worth anything I could have done today. I've known Tony since high school, and if he said that he'd married a man, all I could say was, if he's happy, I am too. I love that man, and what a coincidence he saved my life. He has been working in his business, training vets who needed a job, and then sitting up with me at night. I asked Tony if you would mind, and he said you wouldn't, and you'd understand. I had to meet the person who would give him that self-assurance, and who was that confident in his marriage. He reached for Parker's hand, tugged him down, and hugged him. Then he pulled away and smiled, and it appeared that tears pooled in Justin's eyes. Justin bit his bottom lip. "I just hope one day I find a man like you, who will love me for myself." He glanced down at his legs. "I didn't want to take him away from his family, Parker. I knew you needed him, yet he used that time to talk me out of, well, I didn't do what I was thinking of, and he's going to train me where I can be of use to someone. Maybe to myself," Justin said, smiling. "I see my manager coming, because he must need me for something." Lane didn't need anything, he just wanted to know everyone I knew. "Hi, Tony. Parker. Scott, my partner, and I are having a barbecue at our new home next week for the holidays. This place will be closed, and you're all invited, as well as your friend here. My name's Justin. And thank you, but this time I'll take a rain check. Just got my new legs, and the pain is a bitch. Hope I can make the next party." "Don't worry about that, we'll figure something out. Just go." "You can come with me and Parker," Tony insisted. Justin glanced up at Tony and Parker. "I'll let you know." "Okay, Justin, that's solved. There will be drinking and boating, but if you drink you can't get out on the lake. And there's movie night. It's either Hitchcock's Shadow of a Doubt or a Western." I rolled my eyes. "Not another one. Come early, stay late. 4 until dawn. Will you be bringing a friend?" "I'm not sure," Justin gushed, "but you can count on me being there. Tony just bought me a van. I can drive it, so if you see license plates on a van that says Wounded Vet, that's me, and give me a wide berth." He chuckled. "Come with me," Parker said, turning Justin's chair around. "You and I have a lot to talk about. I'm buying you the strongest coffee in here. I want to know all about Tony in high school." "Spare no details," Parker said with a smile and winking at Tony. Justin looked at Tony. "Can I?" "Sure. Spare no details." "Well, maybe not everything." I'd promised Brian that I'd at least try to find Valentine for him, and at this point I hadn't even tried. I excused myself and tiptoed over to my office to get something done, before Brian bombarded me with questions. Previously, I'd called the company who sold advertisements on the billboards around town, and got a quote, used one of the guys and girls from the college to create an ad for me with one of Valentine's stock photos, and had that done before it was time to go home. Everyone had been cutting hours and going home early, and I was no exception. I didn't want to create a precedence by leaving late, therefore I left early too, because after all I had a life now. I reached home before Amy went to sleep and before Scott left. Scott was walking out as I climbed the stairs to the porch. "I hear you're having a barbecue at your new home. I have you and Grail to thank for the generous salary you've given me and Lane. Lane is my best friend. He's worth every dime, and you are too. I don't know what Amy, Gray, and I would do without you. I couldn't do any less for you and Lane, and he works his ass off. Grail and I will be there to celebrate with you." Scott headed down the stairs, turned when he passed me, and when I had my hand on the door handle. "Heads up, Caden. Austin is in there." "Oh fuck. Thanks for warning me."